What's good, everyone? Welcome to week 16 of Winning Picks Weekly. As always, my name is John Meleka. I'm joined by Greg Albert. Greg, what's up, man?
What's going on? Ready for week 16? We're coming to a close here, closing out some future picks, which I love because that just gives me a bunch of cash for the playoffs, which we'll be doing episodes for all that, and I'm excited for it, man. We got some great matchups this week. A lot of divisions are coming down to it, a lot of seeding kind of in the lower half of the playoffs and stuff still up for grabs. So maybe some of those top spots are locked up, but there's still a lot of competitive games, a lot of stuff going on with COVID, which is going to be changing everything. Changed a lot for us last week. If you look at some of our bets from the time we recorded to when games actually kicked off on Monday and Tuesday. So always stay up with us. Winning picks or winning the letter P weekly on Twitter, and then obviously you can find us on the YouTube under Knicks, Jets, etc. So a lot of things change, a lot of things happen. So hopefully, COVID doesn't derail the Jets because that's my biggest concern right now, based on this last report that we got earlier today. But full slate ahead of us. I'm ready for it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. But before that, you mentioned Knicks, Jets, etc. That's our flagship, the exclusive Knicks and Jets podcast for Fansided. You are our video producer for that as well, and you will be co-hosting the Jets episode next week
Yeah.
because I'll be out. So that'd be really cool. The rapid reaction, the regular game, you'll be on top of all that. So that'd be cool to check out. And honestly, man, we've been talking about this game for literally 16 weeks.
Oh, yes, we
And
have.
and since we're finally here, and this might be the only broadcast, the only media that's been talking about this game, and we're gonna lead off our program with this game, and it really kind of subconsciously has something to do with our backgrounds, but not really. It's just mostly of our bet we made of who's
Yeah.
gonna have a worse record, the New York Jets or the Jacksonville Jaguars. We knew this game was gonna happen. And here we are, man. The 2-11 Jacksonville Jaguars are plus 2.5. You have it as. I think it moved to one when
Yeah.
I was looking at it now.
Yep.
So it moved, and it moved because of COVID, which we'll get into. So at the 3-11 New York Jets minus 2.5, down to minus one because of 19 players and Coach Salah with COVID. They got the tight end coach rolling in. Most notably, Elijah Vera Tucker is out at left guard. John Franklin Meyer and Michael Carter, the cornerback, not the running back.
Yep.
Three pretty crazy big names in a less than stellar roster. The COVID situation is crazy. I don't know, even if they move that game to Tuesday, I don't know if that's going to really matter, as we saw with a
Yeah.
couple of games last week. This game only moved a point and a half for those three players. I mean, I have no idea why it's not more. The only reason I have is last week I was all over Jacksonville at -5, and you were yelling at me, telling me, "What am I, insane? Why am I taking Jacksonville? I've been saying Jacksonville stinks all year. All of a sudden, I'm taking the -5,
Yep.
which I agree with. I 100% agree with. Now they're plus one still against this depleted Jets team, and even though I have the Jets finishing with a better record and ahead of Jacksonville in the draft standings, I have to take Jacksonville in this game, man. I think they're going to tie it up. I think they're both going to be 3-12 after this week. And, week 17, 18, it's going to come down to strength of schedule on the wire for our mini bet
Like you,
on the side. But what do you got for this game,
like
dude?
you said, we might be the only program that leads off with the Jacksonville Jets. We're definitely be the only program that's following strength of schedule for the Jets and the Jaguars down the stretch and who they're playing or common opponents are playing and all that stuff. So we're gonna be following that for sure. But for this game, to me, it's just about your best ability is availability, and it just seems like Jacksonville has more people available right now. Overall, I think that Jets, if everyone's 100% healthy, I think the Jets are a better team. But both teams are young, both teams are prone to mistakes, and when you have these fill-in players come in, chances are they have less time to prepare, less time to practice, less time to gel with the guys that they're going to be going with on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, whenever they end up playing. So I just think Jacksonville is going to have a stronger showing. However, I don't think it's going to be very high scoring. I don't think it's going to be very exciting. I just think that they might have the best skill player in Robinson as a running back, so they might be able to lean on him a little bit. We haven't been that great at stopping the run this year. So I like Jacksonville too, +1, even money, whatever ends up being, come whenever they kick off. I'm hoping as a Jets fan, it gets pushed back a little bit because we have so many people, including the coach, on this COVID list. And also too with the NFL, I think last week or in between last week and this week, they changed kind of the protocol for how you can come back. So hopefully that takes into a little bit of effect and they come back a little faster, especially if they're, vaccinated and asymptomatic. So we'll see how that shakes out. And yeah, starting off hopefully strong, a double pick here on Jacksonville. And it's really just because I think they're the healthier team. The Jets are home, but I don't think that matters too much right now. We talked about it on the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast that we just recorded. The Jets fans haven't really been showing out and showing up on home games just because it's another bad season for the Jets, bad season after bad season. So, yeah, I don't think home field makes a huge difference here.
I don't know if Jacksonville really has a traveling fan base,
No,
though, especially in December around Christmas.
This game might be half empty. We'll see.
Yeah, this game might move. Give the Jets a nice little Christmas gift because without Elijah Vera Tucker, there's really no shot. However, this is a material change kind of game. If Elijah Vera Tucker's in, John Franklin Myers in, and then Michael Carter as a bonus, I'm taking the Jets here because that's their normal squad.
Yeah.
Like no tight end, who cares? We've never had a tight end. I don't Dan Brown, Ryan Griffin, Wesco, it's all the same.
Doesn't
okay. Matter. You know what I mean? Like safeties, we have nobody. Linebacker, CJ Mosley still playing. That's all that matters really there. Dig Davis is in too. So there's a little I reserve the right to a material change in this game if Elijah Vera Tucker and those boys get in there. Well, let's go back to the Thursday game. We skipped ahead a little bit. We got San Francisco -3.5 at Tennessee. Tennessee +3.5 at home with the better record. Looked okay last week. This is an interesting game, man, especially coming off a short week. A team that likes to run on both sides of the ball, San Francisco and Tennessee. The hook really satisfies me in this game. Like I everybody loves San Francisco. Everyone loves Shanahan. Kittle, they look great. They run the ball, but Mitchell's still out. I mean, they look good. I have nothing bad to say about San Francisco. They get into lulls in the middle of the game. I like them, and I like what Tennessee is doing. I think Tennessee's going to lose, but I like the hook. Like I think it's going to be a field goal game. So give me the Tennessee Titans here, and this is going to be an interesting game, dude, for Tennessee. Their running game is starting to look okay without Derrick Henry. They're starting to figure that out. But now A.J. Brown's coming back, and we know that the team looks different with Julio and A.J. Brown together. Both receivers look different, and the whole squad looks different.
Yep.
And they're coming back this week. So maybe, they start – it's a short week. A.J. Brown's obviously not going to practice. He hasn't practiced for about a month. Julio just came back last week. So, they might have plays here and there. They might not win the game, but look out for Tennessee, man. Tennessee with both wide receivers. I'm looking ahead after this game. Like they might lose this game. I like them to cover, but I look forward to them covering the next couple of weeks as well. Just a little look ahead before we hit the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But they're a playoff team. Defense, running.
Yeah, not turning the ball over. I mean, it really. But right now, like they started out really hot. So for people who forgot about the beginning of the season, they started out incredible. Henry got hurt. They still were playing okay, but then they lose A.J. Brown. Then they lose Julio. They rely on... They traded Josh Reynolds, I think, in the middle of the year. Or they let him go or something like that. Now he's having a great resurgence over the last few weeks with Detroit, which is crazy. But I think 2 weeks ago, they had like 4 active wide receivers on their roster. It was something different. So... Tennessee, for me, the thing that scares me is obviously the hook, but obviously it's do or die. They had a huge lead on the Colts. The Colts have been battling back in that division. Tennessee's 9-5 right now. The Colts are 8-6 after a big win against the Patriots, after a big win against Buffalo, after some really strong performances from this running game that they have and this defense that they have. So I agree with you on Tennessee. I just don't think they have it yet because I think they're just too A.J. Brown not practicing for a month and then coming back and playing. I don't know how much you can really depend on him. Julio Jones, even though he was back last week, I think he got hurt in the middle of the game or he's questionable now. He's not playing great. So San Francisco is just, yes, they run the ball. Yes, they have good defense. But when they need to pass it, man, Kittle's healthy. They're different when Kittle's in there. Like I have Ayuk in fantasy. Like he's been down, I think, the last 2 weeks because they just throw it to Kittle and they just run it and throw it to Deebo Samuel. And then when they get they just run it.
Thank God you said his name.
Yeah.
Dude, he is the best player in football whose name is not mentioned on a daily basis.
Yeah, him
and I guess we call that the most underrated player, but dude, he is unbelievable. I think he's like overshadowed by Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, like those big names. But dude, he's unbelievable. He's the running back when they need him to be like, and he's a real running back. He's the wide receiver. He can screen. He's the Odell Beckham receiver where he'll slant out and take it for 70 yards. He'll take you over the top. Deebo Samuel is unbelievable. And we talk about Kittle, but without Samuel, this team stinks. Like legitimately stinks. Like it's not even formidable.
Yeah, my only problem with Samuel, and I talk about this like come like fantasy season, especially when we're talking about like drafts and stuff like that. He just can't stay healthy. So yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's.
That's what I'm saying.
When he's on the
field.
He's in,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's easy to fall in love with this team. I'm looking forward to San Francisco playoff games, but I like what you said about Tennessee and the division hunt with the Colts, especially.
Yeah, but San Francisco's kind of in that too. That's the other thing. They're 8-6. The Cardinals haven't looked that good. They've lost the last two. Lost to Detroit last week outright. That was incredible. And the Rams have been okay, but again, they haven't been blowing people out and winning by 30 or 40 points like they should be some weeks. So, I think this division, the NFC West, as much as it scares me because we both have the Cardinals to win, I'm a little nervous about this division. So I think San Francisco still feels like, let's not worry about the playoffs. Let's worry about winning the division. And they have a shot to do it with the rest of their schedule. So I'm taking San Francisco in this -3.5. I know they're on the road. I know it's a short week, but I just think that they have a better defense. I think they have a better run game. And then they have a much better passing game right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, I picked him up in fantasy just because I needed someone because of COVID and stuff. And he's been great the last 2 weeks. Nothing crazy, unbelievable. But 200
he's been
yards,
unbelievable, though.
Touchdown. Like it's just what you need when you're San Francisco. Nothing too exciting, nothing too bad, but he's not turning the ball over. So I like San Francisco on this one Thursday night.
I love Garoppolo all year, bro. Honestly, he's been under the radar. We've been loving Mac Jones. Is disgusting.
Yeah, and all the hype all season about off season about Trey Lance. Haven't heard his name once all season because just Jimmy G's been fine. So. Like I said, I like him. I like them maybe to win the division, but I'm hoping Arizona holds out. We'll see.
San Francisco don't win the division. Don't get crazy. But let's stick. Let's stick to it. We stick to the division. We're talking about Tennessee's division. We're talking about this Arizona division, and Saturday, the second game. We have two games on Saturday. The 8:00. I guess the prime time in this case.
Yep.
Is the Indianapolis Colts at the Arizona Cardinals, and this is one of the games I'm sick about missing because this is a huge game to find out what these two teams are really made of. Indy is trying to seal up they've been hunting down the Tennessee Titans for weeks, man. They've been hunting them down, and they're trying to finally seal up this hole. I think that they are salivating at the fact that this Cardinals team went from the most dreaded game, oh my God, all season. I can't believe we have to versus Arizona coming down the stretch. Like we better be good by the time we're there. Yeah, we better be good. You know what I'm saying? Like we better not need this game. And now it's, dude, thank God we're playing the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
So I totally feel that. But let me ask you a question. Does that worry you about why it's only 1.5?
John, it worries me so much I'm switching my pick.
I was about to say
Because the way you're talking about it, you had the classic line. I think it was our clip that we put out last week. The Indy game last week against the Patriots was a classic pros versus Joes game. Everyone was on New England. New England was hot. New England was looking good. New England's coming off a bye. Indy, the line doesn't really make sense. Why is New England an underdog? It doesn't really make sense. And then Indy absolutely blows him out. And I was wrong on that. I took Patriots alternate line. I was trying to put a live bet in. Thank God I wasn't able to because I would have lost way more money because the Indy just top to bottom beat them from the kickoff to the end of the game. So I'm switching my pick. I liked Indy going into this, but this is why we do this. This is why we talk it out. You were talking about it. When you start talking about it, I started looking at the public money right now. I see 70% of the money is on Indy, 30% of the money is on Arizona. Arizona, hungry dog runs faster. Arizona got absolutely embarrassed by the Detroit Lions. They're the talk of the town about how bad they are. All this stuff. People are injured. Hopkins is out. Connor's on the injury report this week. Edmonds is coming back off an injury. He had a couple plays last week, but wasn't amazing. Kyler Murray didn't look too good. Is he injured? All this stuff. Give me Arizona. Give me -1 at home to close out the season. They're going to need to get some good wins here. They're going to bounce back here. I like Arizona in this one, -1.
I'm with you, man. I am totally. This game opened at -4.5 Cardinals. It's down to -0.5 Cardinals. It's not even at 1.5 anymore.
Yep.
It's at 0.5. And like you said, not only is 70% of the bets on the Indianapolis Colts, 96% of the money I have on the Colts. This might be the easiest game of the week. Yeah. Honestly, looking at it, this might be the easiest game of the week. I gotta take Arizona. I'm not gonna make this the best bet, but this honestly might be the Jonathan Taylor MVP talk is a little is definitely what's pushing this behind this too. This is all ready for a hard crash, in my opinion.
Jonathan Taylor MVP talk. I said Cooper Kupp is moving up in the rankings. Come on, guys, it's gonna be a quarterback.
Yeah, okay. I think we're together on this Arizona pick, but the other game on Saturday, the 4:00 game is a really good game too. I mean, flip the coin for the primetime game, honestly, because with the extended week and the extended playoff team in the NFL, there's also one less bye week. And the playoff game on Monday. I hope we all didn't forget. We have a Monday playoff game this year, which is really awesome.
ESPN won't let you forget, but yeah.
I haven't been watching ESPN, but yeah. That's cool. That's cool. We have the Cleveland. I guess that's how you know, right? Yeah. The Cleveland Browns at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is fighting for that number 1 spot. Shout out Luda. -7.5, and Cleveland, with the ridiculous AFC North, is sitting at 7-7, and they're +7.5. They're getting the hook, Greg. And I don't know. There has been actually. Let me pause. What is do you have a week 16 COVID generator on your side with the list? So what's going on with Cleveland?
COVID tractor going. Who do you want to know?
Cleveland, is Cleveland getting healthier, or are they still on the COVID list?
Nope, they're still not past. Let's see when this is updated as. I think this is updated as of last night. 13 hours ago, this was updated. So this is
as of Tuesday night. Yeah, okay, so we don't know yet. Yeah, okay,
but
so they have an opportunity to start testing.
21.
I love Cleveland, dude.
So
I love Cleveland in this game. The Packers and the Cowboys have been absolute money makers this year.
Yep.
And they killed it last week. And they're both ridiculously big favorites this week in primetime games. I cannot touch those teams. I cannot touch them. On the other side, we have a desperate Browns team, like literal desperation.
Dude, they're 7-7, and they're like 1 game out of the division. That's the closest division in all of football. You can host almost 2 playoff games. Yeah.
In Cleveland. That changes everything, man. If you're a wild card team with an injured Baker Mayfield, rather than being at home, chilling in the dog pound, and they're used to primetime games at this point. They've been playing primetime all year.
Yep.
And they run the football and they play defense, dude. I would be afraid of this Cleveland team at home. Honestly, I'm afraid of all the AFC North teams. If I'm being a little bit honest with you, I don't want to play any of them.
We're gonna have an interesting conversation about a couple AFC North teams later. So,
but it starts with Cleveland. To be honest with you, and I like the money line. I promise. I think that Green Bay is going to lose this game. They have to make it a little closer. They have to make it interesting in that bye week coming down to the next 2 weeks. Arizona's going to win, like you said. Green Bay is going to lose, right? It's going to make it. They're going to be tied up there. And then we have another game. I mean, that wraps up the Thursday Saturday games.
Well, yeah, I'm taking the Browns. I'm with you on that, and you and I are so on the same page that this is either going to be a disastrous week or it's going to be a week to remember, because little teaser, Cleveland Browns are money line is definitely in my Hail Mary parlay.
Let's go.
Because I'm so on the same page every which way. Defense travels, running travels. Yeah, Baker Mayfield has been on the COVID, and so has their other backup quarterback there. Keenum. That's good. But they run the ball. They rely on Chubb. I think Hunt might be back too if he clears COVID this week. So, and that defense just is as good as any, I think, when they're all healthy. So I like Cleveland going to Green Bay. Green Bay's been good, but they haven't been impressing me, if that makes sense. So last week against the Ravens, I don't know how it got close at the end. That was crazy. So I like Cleveland on that one.
The double teaming Adams was crazy. I don't think Cleveland's going to have to do that. Did you see that? The
whole thing with Devontae Adams, I don't understand it. No, I didn't see it. So why don't you talk about that quick, and then I have a comment about Devontae Adams that I don't understand.
So they were literally double covering him the entire game. Like, in PlayStation when you're playing Madden and you just like take your safety and you just like double cover him on a receiver because your friend's gonna like throw to Randy Moss.
Sure.
Because like everyone would play with the Patriots back in the day, like when he was there. And I would just I'd have to like throw someone to double on Moss because he's just gonna catch it over the guy.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what they were doing. They literally had a guy lined up in the front and a guy lined up like 10 yards back, and their safety just like literally behind him, and they just shattered him all game. And so Aaron Rodgers came out and he's like, first he's annoyed about it. It's kind of like when D Book, or the Suns guard, was complaining that people are double teaming him and in off season like pick up ball. That's kind of what's happening. Aaron Rodgers is like, yo, that's mad annoying, and he's trying to be like, oh, it's just mad respect. That means like you respect us so much. It means he's the best. Like just trying to be like, like almost like Andrew Luck when he got hit. To just be like, oh, good job. Yeah. So you can like lessen the blow the next time for whatever like psychological reason. What do you got on Devontae Adams?
Dude, I heard a DB talking about it this week, and they were saying like, you did a great job against Devontae Adams when you were covering him, but then they start moving him around. I don't know if I don't understand the NFL enough, like coverages and defensive schemes and stuff, but it seems to me like they just move Adams to the slot to get him off whoever's covering him, and then he just like runs for like 20 yards and gets a touchdown. It's just like, why can we not defend that? Like, we know that I know that who are they playing? Cleveland. Hey, Cleveland this week, they're gonna move Devontae Adams to the slot to try to get him open. Just keep covering him. Like, it makes no sense to me. And again, my dumb gambling brain doesn't know all the ins and outs of the NFL and the X's and O's and all that stuff. But it blows my mind that it's like, oh yeah, he's getting really covered really well on the outside, so we just move him to the slot, and then he'll score 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, how? How is that a thing? That makes no sense to me, but it seems to work. I'm nervous about it because I know you got him in fantasy, and I want you to win this week, but hopefully we meet in the championships, and then I want them to double, triple team him because I'm nervous about him, man. He can go for 150 and 2 touchdowns as quickly and as good as anyone, so.
Yeah, I mean, the last note, because we've been spending a lot of time on this game, is I think Aaron Rodgers is the answer to that question. Aaron Rodgers reads the defense is just like Tom Brady. You're like, dude, just someone guard the slot. It's not a coincidence. That's always that position. That position, when you move the guy around, you start reading the defense. You basically like are, when you do screens in basketball to try to get the mismatch. That's what's happening. They're just moving it around. They're trying to find the linebacker to guard Julian Edelman, to try to guard Devontae Adams. It's just not going to work. So if you move the cornerback, you ruin everything. Like now all of a sudden the right side's empty. So you know what I'm saying? So it's really like Madden. Like Aaron Rodgers, these guys, Tom Brady, we're just not used to it as Jets fans, but these quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, they're playing Madden. Like if they move like Marvin Harrison from the right all the way to the left and you follow him and now the right's open, he's gonna be like, yo, Reggie Wayne, run a slant to the right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be good to go. It's gonna be wide open. Everyone is on the left now so
it just blows my mind that you just can't figure that out. Like they're gonna do it, and you know that's
Aaron Rodgers. You can't
fix it.
People like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are so good that they eclipse it. But let's stay in this division, and I guess the schedule makers knew exactly what they were doing. Kudos to the NFL, because we're sitting here in week 16, and this game parallels the Sunday game, the LA Rams at the Minnesota Vikings. What a game, dude. The 10-4 Rams fighting for a division, also fighting for a bye week, just like the Cardinals, just like the Packers, at the Minnesota Vikings, who at this point are just fighting for a wild card spot. But they have Thielen coming back. They don't look too bad, man. To keep it in perspective, right? Like Kirk Cousins doesn't look so bad to be Kirk Cousins, but it's still Kirk Cousins.
He's a top 15 quarterback.
Oh my goodness. I can't get into it. But apparently he's better than Russell Wilson.
He was last week.
Oh my goodness. All right, so this is interesting. Where's the public on this game, man? This plus 2.5 Minnesota.
So real quick, I just want to finish off because I did forget because of my Devontae Adams dumb gambling rant. I want to get back to the real gambling stuff. We talked about the Colts having 96% of the money on them. The Packers right now have 99% of the money on them. So that's going to be a nice parlay for me on Saturday. Just a little Saturday fade the public bet because I love the Cardinals and I love the Browns. But again, that's all going to change depending on COVID. So follow us on Twitter, Winning the Letter P Weekly, and we'll give you material changes and any updates that we have. Right now, this game, Minnesota Rams, it's kind of flip-flopped a little bit, which I want to hear your take on kind of how to read this. 66% of the bets are on the Rams, but 85% of the money is on the Vikings. So when you hear that, when you hear most of the public bets are on LA, but then a lot of the money, like a crazy disproportional amount, is on the other team, the Vikings. What does that say to you, and how do you kind of read that?
So there's a hint, Greg. There's a hint in the line movement to the answer here.
Okay.
It opened at 3.5, and it went to 3. Okay. If it moved with the Rams, you would say, oh, the public is with the Rams, it's moving with the Rams. But this is what we call a classic reverse line. If the number of bets are on, which we usually call the Joes anyway, but is on the Rams, and it went from 3.5, it should go to 4, because Vegas is trying to get the money even on both sides. But no, it went to 3. Meanwhile, all of the money, which we usually call the sharps, they are on the Vikings here, which really is with our same philosophy with both games so far. However, I just want to point out one thing while we're talking about these numbers. They might be a little skewed because the NFL just ended yesterday on Tuesday, and we're recording on Wednesday. So we have there's a difference in, as you guys know, the fans with the waiver reports for your fantasy, they moved to Thursday. The injury reports for the NFL got moved, and maybe that affected also the betting margins. So, they might even out at some point, but looking at it from right now, they say the earlier you bet, the sharper you are anyway in the week. So here we are. My original gut feeling was to take the Vikings, especially with that little tiny hook there. I know it's not the number you want, but you had the 3.5, moved to 3. We had a 2.5. It's at 3. I like the field goal, man. Give me the Vikings at home, catching 3 to a Rams team that killed last week. If you're asking me, I would say who's going to guard Cooper Kupp? These Rams are unbelievable. Doesn't matter. Henderson's in there. Michelle's in there. Doesn't matter. Stafford and Cooper Kupp have breakfast together. And that's all that matters.
It's apparently
And
the only thing that matters. I wish someone figured that out sooner because that's all I hear about.
And the defensive line looks good. They have the stars. Like it should be Rams, right? Rams. Give me the Vikings +3 at home. They need it. They're desperate. The Rams don't need this game. They could easily lose this game and just settle right into their wild card spot.
I'm with you in that. I'm taking the Vikings as well. And to your point about the what I was asking about with the whole discrepancy between the public bets or the number of bets versus the money, to me, the Minnesota with having a larger amount of money on it just lets me know that's where the sharp money is. That's where the professional bettors are. So, I just want to kind of highlight that stuff because people that might be listening might not be into gambling as much as we are. So, on our Saturday picks, we said, 99% of the money's on Green Bay, so I'm going to fade that. 96% of the money is on Indianapolis, so I'm going to fade that. And now all of a sudden we get to the Sunday slate, and we say 85% of the money is on Minnesota, so I'm going to take that. That could be a little confusing. So just want to kind of highlight that for those first two games, the public money, the number of bets, and the amount of money were the same. Here it's a little crisscross, so that kind of indicates something to me. Again, it's early in the week. Lines do move. I think that's something we can do maybe in the offseason, John, is just kind of break down some like gambling terms and gambling things that we look at. Opening line value, closing line value, all that kind of stuff. Because the numbers do move, so, you got to pay attention to it all week long. Try to get some good value in those. But to your point, Minnesota +3. Minnesota scares me sometimes with their ability to kick field goals, but home team, like you said, they're hungry. They got to get a spot in this playoffs. And I
have
think
a good D.
Good defense. And I can't stop. When I think of Minnesota now, I don't think about you telling me that they cover all the time. I think about them running against the Steelers, what was it, 2 weeks ago? And they just there was lanes like you couldn't believe on that field. So if Minnesota can get that going, that offensive line going against the Rams, right. How do you stop a good pass rusher in Aaron Donald? You run at him. How do you stop a good defensive guy like Jalen Ramsey? You don't throw it to him because you're running the ball for 200 yards. Madison's back this week off COVID. They got a great two-headed monster in Minnesota at home. I like that +3. Let's lock that in.
Greg, I'm going to leave you on this note. Not only do they have a really good defense,
they
lead the league in sacks.
Ooh.
The Minnesota Vikings getting points at home, leading the league in sacks. Versus, give me the last note on this game. Give me a COVID tracker for the Rams. They all COVIDed up over there?
COVID like you can't believe out in LA.
All right. So as long as Kirky stays in his glass box, Mr. Conspiracy Theory Vaxxer, as long as he stays in his box, Thielen comes back. I love Minnesota +3.
Yeah,
actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it, Greg. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna best bet this game.
You're gonna best bet them.
I have to.
LA Rams have 25 people on COVID right now, as of Tuesday.
I have to. They looked phenomenal last week. Minnesota's at home catching points, great defense, lead the league in sacks. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. They're desperate. I need Minnesota in this game.
I like that.
This might be what I'm. It's not gonna be on my what am I missing? Minnesota stinks. I get it.
They're better than people think.
Greg,
they're better than people think.
Greg, we are aligned on so many games, and I'm looking at it right now.
I said when I looked at it, John, when you were talking about Cleveland Browns, I was looking at it. It's going to be a week to remember. It's going to be a week to forget. I don't know what's going to happen this week, but it is going to be something.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
We don't look at each other's picks.
John, it's going to be a week to remember or a week to forget.
All right. I'm nervous about this one, man. I'm nervous about this one. We got the Detroit Lions +5.5 at your Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons are -5.5. And we're aligned on this game. Oh. No, we're aligned on the Atlanta Falcons game. This is terrible, terrible news.
Yeah, if you're out there, I'm taking Atlanta -5.5. You should run to your local betting establishment and put a money line bet on Detroit. There's no way they just look good 2 weeks in a row. I think they're going to come off their high of beating the best team in football. It was like the first time in however many years that the worst team in football beat the best team in football in a regular season game. It was incredible to watch. It was puzzling to watch. The fact that Detroit's, +5.5, it made me think about it a little bit, but Atlanta minus 5.5. I feel like Atlanta shouldn't be 5 or 6 point
Exactly.
favorites against anyone.
Exactly.
But I think Detroit's going to have a big letdown spot. They're on the road. They're traveling. Atlanta's look good in some spots. I think they're a little bit of sneaky, a little better offense than people realize. You talked earlier about Deebo Samuel being this incredible wide receiver, one of the best gadget guys in the league.
I know what's coming.
Cordell Patterson, man, he's right there with them. And you know what? He's on the field. He's been here all season long. He's been doing great things. Russell Gage had a good week last week. So I think Atlanta gets to 7-8 here. And they get the win. They get the cover. And
you know what, Greg?
if you listen to this podcast long enough, that should be a clear bet Detroit Lions.
You know what, Greg? The reason why I couldn't make this the last game my what am I missing pick is because it has to be this. It has to be this game. This is my what am I missing pick, and it really is not even to do with the line, right? Because first of all, the Lions getting less than a touchdown on the road makes no sense to me. That's bananas. So the Falcons only 3 points better than the Lions. That's insane. Okay, that's number one. Doesn't make any sense. That's what am I missing, right? Let's talk about things that make no sense. Number two, Greg, the public and the money is with the Detroit Lions. I need stats on one that has happened this year.
Makes no sense. How much do you know? You got percentages in front of you? Because is it
75% of the money and 60% of the bets.
That's insane.
The Detroit Lions.
That's insane. The fact that I'm fading the public by betting against the Lions is absolutely bananas.
What am I missing, bro? I know I am the resident Atlanta Falcon hater. I hate them. I hate everything about them. I was off the Cordell Patterson train for weeks. It took me weeks to be a believer there because, I mean, if you lose on New England, if you stink on New England, it's over for you, man. It's just like, in my opinion, it's usually just over for you. Last week, they also burned me, the Falcons, right? Like they got creamed by the San Francisco 49ers. They couldn't even keep it to a single digit game.
Yep.
So I just 6 points, dude. What are we talking about? I need the Falcons here, even though you have them.
Yeah, scary stuff.
Scary stuff. You know what's even scarier? The fact that New England didn't throw the ball until like the fourth quarter. They threw 3 total balls, absolutely murdered the Buffalo Bills. And so much so that reporters asked the 2-star linebackers for the Buffalo Bills if they're embarrassed. They're trying to win the division out here.
Yeah.
Ask if they're embarrassed. That's how bad that game went. New England is minus 2.5 at home, coming off a loss versus Buffalo Bills, looking for revenge, man. This is a crazy game. I can't believe this didn't get flexed into prime time. Yeah. This is a crazy game.
Especially because of the last time they played.
That's what I'm saying. And it's for the division. This is for the AFC East.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, I'm a little nervous that I'm biased in this because I need New England to win. I need New England to win the division for a lot of my bets to have me really stocked and ready to go into these playoffs. So I'm taking New England here minus 2.5. I think it's a classic. I said earlier, hungry dog runs faster. New England, I think, kind of got embarrassed, punked a little bit on a prime. I don't know. Are Saturday games primetime games? I don't know. Now all of a sudden there's like 5 or 6 primetime games a week because we got Monday football, Tuesday football. But
those aren't primetime, and that's even known because we couldn't even watch it. We couldn't even watch the Rams.
Yeah, true.
It wasn't on anything. I literally
insane.
couldn't unless you had the game ticket. You could not get that game.
Yeah, or lived on the West Coast. Yeah.
This Saturday thing is not new. The Saturday thing has been here for a while. I remember Tony Romo playing on Saturdays.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's a primetime game or whatnot, but everyone was watching New England because it was the only game on last Saturday, and they got embarrassed start to finish. They were getting beat on special teams.
Off a bye week. They got beat on special teams, which as a Jets fan, I don't know. The last time I saw New England get embarrassed on special teams, it was crazy. Also, a little fun fact about that, the Indianapolis guy who kept blocking punts, his last name is Speed.
It should be
Yeah, I
illegal.
saw that. I
You
know.
shouldn't be allowed to be
Shouldn't be
named
allowed to be
speed.
in the NFL.
Yeah, that's
That's a
crazy.
performance enhancing drug right there.
Yeah. So he's like 101 speed in Madden if your last name's Speed. So shout out to him. He's doing good. I mean, the Colts have a bunch of people going to the Pro Bowl, but Patriots. I would normally think Buffalo would win this game because of how embarrassed they were after the last game. But because they beat up on Carolina to kind of get that frustration out, I think, last week, and New England lost so poorly, they came out and said that they didn't have a good week of practice, that they need to get focused. I think hopefully this is a good loss for the Patriots because I got them going deep in the playoffs. So I like New England here minus 2.5. But I don't feel great about it. I'm not taking them. I was thinking about a best bet here, but I really am back and forth on this. What do you got for this game?
I gotta stick with New England because I think Bill Belichick messed with them. I think he's all in their head. Yeah. They're so mad about last game. Bill Belichick probably he's not going to do a single thing he did last game. You know what I'm saying? I think
scrap
he's
the whole
gonna
playbook.
Yeah, he's gonna change it up completely. He's watching what they did last week. He's watching how they responded, versus Tampa Bay. Like Bill Belichick,
Josh
we
Allen's
know
banged up a little bit too. Everyone kept talking about during that game his foot. He's not running as much.
Coming
for
off a
Josh
loss,
Allen.
man, off a bye, New England is having a tough week of practice. Yeah. Like I'm telling you right now, even though it hasn't happened yet, they're getting their butts kicked. I'm telling you, we've been around this team too long. I love that you considered New England here for best bet because I love this. I love New England here, and I'm betting a little bit with my pocket because I have New England in those division parlays in the beginning of the year. So I think New England. I mean, once New England beats you once and they own you like that, they're not going to lose to you. Like if it comes down to it, it's the last play, it's the last drive, they're going to score on the Buffalo. You know what I mean? They're at home. They have their number.
At Foxborough too.
They're going to win by field goal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's even if Buffalo's up in the first half or something. So, because I could see that.
Oh yeah, I can see.
I could see Buffalo coming off hot, like pissed off, coming off angry. But New England's going to take this game.
I'm with you.
All right, you want to go to the worst, in my opinion, even though we start off with Jets Jacksonville, I think the worst game of this Sunday.
Sure.
The NFC East, man, they never disappoint. The New York Giants, your boy Jake Fromm, couldn't do nothing last week. He's so bad.
At the start this week, he played so well.
Oh my goodness. Plus 9.5 at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is minus 9.5, and you guys all know how I am with Philly. I am to Philly what Greg is to Atlanta. And unfortunately, I'm here and I'm on Philly. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I had them right last week. We were both on Philly. I mean, is that a good omen? Are we just?
Yeah, it's a great omen. You're riding with me on Atlanta. I'm riding with you on Philadelphia. I like Philadelphia minus 9.5. I think that again, I don't know what it is about. I'm gonna blank on the coach's name there. In Philadelphia.
Is it Sirianni?
Sirianni. Sometimes he just forgets that they can run the football. And if he doesn't, he just needs to write on his little playbook that's in front of him, he just needs a sticky note that says just run the football. Because if he doesn't forget that they could run the football, they just run the football. And they Miles Sanders will get 100 yards, but then also so will a couple other running backs, and so will Jalen Hurts. It's insane when they're running the ball and they're doing good. And also too, we know from just talking football and listening to football for years, the linemen love when you run the football. So everyone's happy. Everyone's having a good time. They don't really have great pass catchers in Philadelphia. Goddard's looked pretty good at some points. Smith has his plays here and there. But Ward was playing really good, I think, on Tuesday or Monday, whenever they played last. So, they have a couple guys that can make catches when they need to. But honestly, if they just remember that they can run the football all day long, I think that this is an easy win, such an easy win. This is my first best bet of the day. You're riding with me on Atlanta, I'm riding with you, Philly, and I'm riding to the best bet promised land. I'm going Philadelphia minus 9.5 because I think the Giants are done.
I mean, I agree with you. I just stink at betting the NFC East, man.
Yeah.
Especially the Giants too. I just never know with them. The Eagles, a lot of points. They keep it close. I don't know. I like Philly, but I never feel strong enough to make this the best bet. But I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Let's go with.
right now the
Go
only
ahead.
thing we were talking a little bit about betting percentages earlier, so I want to hear your thoughts on this. Right now the percentage of bets is like 50-50 right now. But
Okay. Where's the public?
95% of the money is on the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, it should be. It should be Eagles. I mean, the Eagles. You either take the Eagles or you don't play this game.
Yep.
Do not take the Giants. Jake Fromm plus 9.5. You calling me a crazy person? If you hear someone tell you take the Giants plus 9.5, you run away as fast as you can from that guy
Yeah.
or girl. You just run away.
It's in Philadelphia. Like I said, if they just remember that they can run the football, they'll be set.
Yeah, I agree. But look, it's really a toss up between that game and the Chargers versus Houston, dude. That's a terrible one as well. God, Chargers minus 8.5 at Houston. There's a lot of 1 o'clock games this week. Red Zone's
I
gonna be
was just
going
thinking that. I was like,
crazy.
why did we jump to the 4 o'clock slate? Nope, that's still a 1 o'clock game.
We're still. This should be a 4 o'clock game.
I can't stress this enough. I feel like I say this every week. Why is there 3 4 o'clock games?
It's
It drives
unbelievable.
me crazy.
It's unbelievable.
I
It
need to
really
write
is
a letter to
unbelievable.
Roger Goodell. That might be the only way I can get it through his head.
Yeah. With the schedule on the week where we just praise the schedule writers, we're now, taking them down. Such is life. Such is life. And this game, I think, is going to be up and down, just like the Houston season, dude.
Yeah.
This game, I can't believe how well Houston did last week. It blew my mind. It must be that Jacksonville's so bad. But then we have Jacksonville beating the Jets this week. So
That's just because of injuries, I think, and stuff. Or COVID,
yeah, that's
COVID.
true. COVID on the
Like I say,
guard.
if they're fully healthy, I think the Jets
I think the
win that
Jets.
game.
Me too. But we're sitting here talking about the Houston Texans at home. What does that even mean? Like, they don't have a core. Like Sims, he's been okay. They don't have all their players hate them. The safety doesn't want to come in. The Chargers are fighting for a playoff spot. I love the Chargers here, man. I think the Chargers get it together, and they kind of just murder Houston. I think Houston got their last win of the season last week versus Jacksonville, and they're satisfied. 3 wins. They're gonna get a top 5 pick. It's all good. It's not disgusting. 3 wins is not like, I know we have an extra game this year, but we're not used to it yet. 3 wins is beautiful, no problem. That's almost 4-12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like three wins is fine. I think the Chargers are gonna make Houston do the 1-2-3 Cancun by halftime, and it's gonna be like that for the rest of the season.
Oh man, I kind of forgot that. I was like, Houston looked so good last week against Jacksonville, but I forgot that they played them week 1 and they murdered them too. It's like they can only beat apparently they can only beat Jacksonville. When they beat Jacksonville, they kill them.
Yeah.
So now you got me.
That's where they get all their margin from.
Yeah. Yeah, and like now you got me flipping a little bit because I was like, all right, the Chargers, they've looked good, but they haven't really killed anyone from what I can remember the last few weeks. Houston's like pretty good. 8.5 points at home. Maybe they can keep this game close, but I don't know. You really got me thinking now about this one.
Only thing is, so Eckler on the COVID list.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's COVID in LA. It's COVID in LA.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a couple other people that, I think they had Slater out last week too with COVID. I don't know if he's going to be back, Joey Bosa. So they got some big name players. I'm going to go with my gut on this one. I'm going to keep Houston plus 8.5. Again, don't feel great about it, but like I said, I don't, the Chargers to me, they really should have beat Kansas City last week. So they're dead to me because they didn't, because I really needed them to win the division. So I'm going to rock Houston plus 8.5 at home. Home team getting points. Even that goes against our next game, which is Tampa Bay, Carolina. This is my what am I missing game of the week. Because I cannot figure this out. Carolina stinks. I totally agree with that. They're home. But Tampa Bay lost everyone last week.
Everyone.
Some people say online, and they looked like an infirmary at one point. They were out all their wide receivers. They're out Gronk. They're out their starting running back. And they're minus 10.5 on the road?
I know.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, I thought this was going to be 4 or 5 points. Divisional game? Like, these guys play each other twice every year. Carolina, though, is just that bad. They're disgusting. Cam Newton can't throw a football. They can't run the ball anymore. I don't know, man. Carolina still spooks me out a little bit, but I'm leaning Tampa Bay in this one because it's just too many points. Vegas knows something that we don't know. I think we talked about, I forget what game. We talked about.
Wow.
We talked about New England.
You threw me on a loop here.
No, yeah, we talked about last week. You said it. You said, does New England have COVID they're not talking about? Like, the line makes no sense. Does Vegas know something we don't know? Vegas did know something we don't know. Indianapolis killed New England. I think the same thing here. Like, does Vegas know something we don't know? Because why is it minus 10.5? I think Vegas knows something. So I'm going with Tampa Bay. I'm trying to get sharp. This is my what am I missing pick of the week. And possibly for the first time ever, my second best bet of the week. I'm best betting my what am I missing pick of the week.
This is wild, man, because I think I agree with all your premises, and I think you're actually correct, but I think you missed.
Come to the wrong conclusion?
I really think so. I really think so.
Football. He can't throw it.
Dude, in the 76% of the bets and the money are on Tampa.
I know. I'm scared.
And it moved from a minus 11 to minus 10. Listen, man. I'll tell you what you don't know what you're missing. I'll tell you. You said it at the end too. It's like you have all the right answers, but you just keep coming. I'll tell you why you're
wrong. You say what you're saying. I'll tell you why you're wrong at the end.
The Carolina Panthers stink. Cam Newton can't throw. We don't care that he has 5 touchdowns since he came back and they run the ball. We don't care that Chuba Hubbard's looking good. We don't care that the defense could probably do something. We don't care that Tampa Bay doesn't have a single player left on offense or defense. In the secondary, they don't have one single player left. And on the offense, they don't have anyone left except for good old Tom Brady. This is a division game. Believe it or not, the Panthers are fighting for a playoff spot. Believe it or not.
I know I have them to win to make the playoffs.
Me too. And they're still in there.
They are.
They're still in there. I think that Carolina could win this game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers really got away with murder last week. Like, even though he looked bad in prime time, they just blamed it on the Saints because it's always the Saints.
Tom Brady, prime time, you call that from a mile away. That's another great call you had last week. He stinks.
In prime time, he's just not good. I get this is 1 o'clock, and it's not too much. Doesn't agree on his bedtime.
Yeah.
But I think the Carolina Panthers are desperate here, man. The Carolina Panthers are desperate for a playoff spot, and they're going to run the ball. They're going to be conservative. They're not going to ask Cam Newton to throw the ball. And honestly, who is Tom Brady going to throw the ball to? AB? It has to it's only AB. Godwin's out.
Scotty
Evans is hurt.
The truth. Well, Scotty Miller.
I thought he was hurt. Was he even hurt this year?
There. Tyler Johnson, he came in.
Stop.
He looked okay.
10.5, bro. We're talking about 10.5 on the road.
Cameron Brate.
Stop. 10.5 on the road.
Your favorite from a few years ago. I don't know if he's still your favorite. OJ Howard. He's healthy.
He's back? I want him on the Jets.
I think so.
I want him for a conditional 6th-round pick for OJ Howard.
You love that guy.
Yeah, I know. He's a beast.
So this is my last.
It's like Vernon
point.
Davis in college, bro. It was nuts.
Yeah. So this is my last point on the Carolina Panthers Tampa Bay. When you look at it, and you look at all the numbers, you look at all the Excel sheets, all the paper, all the data you want, it says take Carolina.
Really?
But I think so, because we talked about the public betting. We talked about
it's on Tampa,
right? So you should take Carolina.
Oh, I'm saying everyone's telling me Tampa, like Tom Brady, Tampa Buccaneers. They're going for the bye week. Of course they're going to win. They're going to kill them.
Right.
They're coming off a bad game. Tom Brady's not going to lose 2 games in a row. The Carolina, Cam Newton can't throw. McCaffrey's out. Matt Rule stinks. But we don't talk about that because it doesn't look bad on the Jets anymore. Robbie Anderson leads the league in drops. We don't talk about that anymore because it's not bad for the Jets. But All these things. It's horrible out there. It should be 20 points. Carolina sucks. They don't have a quarterback. Is Sam Darnold playing this week? Literally, is Sam Darnold playing this week?
If so, it should be 3 instead of 10 then. But
that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, that was gonna be my last point. Is I feel like all the public betting, all the stuff, is kind of leaning you towards Carolina. But you and I sit down every week and we watch every game, and my eyes have seen Cam Newton throw a football, and he can't throw a football. And I get that they're gonna run the ball, and I get all this stuff. He's gonna have to throw at some point, and he hasn't been able to throw a football correctly in 4 years. Some people went to college and left college at the time Cam Newton was able to throw a football. It's insane.
So what if it's Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold's fine.
I'm saying, would that change? Is that a material change for this game? Would it be 10.5? What if it's 10.5? Are you switching?
Because you know why? Okay. Sam Darnold can throw a football. It might not be to his guy. It might not be to his guy, but he can at least throw it.
Okay, so I think Darnold might be the guy here. To be honest with you, they were teasing that.
Because Cam's that bad.
Yeah, he is. Let's go to our last game of the 1 p.m. man.
Okay.
What a slate. AFC North, huge game. Baltimore at Cincinnati. This might be for the division.
This could be for the division. Yeah.
Could be, but who knows? It's still getting close.
First place though. They're tied right now.
Currently, at least for current, but it's still gonna get nuts in the next 2 weeks. They're all playing each other.
Oh yeah.
Cincinnati minus 2.5 as it stands. What do you like in this game, dude?
What I like is I want to see what the public is.
I think it's at 3 now. I think it's a solid 3. I'll tell you where it is. The money's 78% on Cincinnati and 57% of the bets on Cincinnati. Cincinnati is at 3. Went from -2 to -3. So everything's looking right. Nothing facetious here.
I like Cincinnati in this one. I think they're a better team right now. Huntley's look good for Baltimore. I said that last week. He's the covering king. I think he's covered now all 3 games that he's played in. But Cincinnati has looked good, I think, against the run, if I remember correctly, looking at my pregame prep earlier today while I was looking at this. I think they have a pretty good run defense. I think that their offense is better than Baltimore. And I think they just match up well. It's a division game. They're home. It's -3, so it's essentially a coin flip, according to Vegas. And I'm okay with that. I think these are the best 2 teams in their division. It's late in the season. Lamar Jackson's banged up. John Harbaugh can't figure out if he's going for 2 or not. So,
dude, I can't stand this going for 2 nonsense. If someone tells me that taking 3 points is the dumb move, I listened to a couple of big gambling guys and stuff. Everyone keeps telling me all these stupid percentages and decimals why taking 3 points is dumb. I hate you. Yeah. I hate everyone. Take 3 points, bro.
It's hard to score in the NFL. It's hard.
Especially, dude, who went for it at the end of the half last week?
Chargers. We're talking about Chargers Chiefs.
Dude, take the damn 3 points.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were literally speaking.
We were talking about it
happening.
On the podcast. Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, you can't beat Mahomes." What are you talking about, bro?
They literally could have. They would have gone overtime if they kicked it.
I couldn't believe they're just against 3 points. The Baltimore, they have the best kicker on the planet.
Exactly what I was going to say. What did he do to John Harbaugh's family that what's his name is banned from kicking apparently in Baltimore? It's unbelievable.
It's really nuts. I honestly think this might be the game that Cincy kills Baltimore. I think they're just better. I think this has got to be the week. I think that Joe Burrow and Cincinnati Bengals are healthy, and I think they finally take it to Baltimore. Who's going to guard Jamar Chase? Raise your hand if you're guarding Chase. Raise your hand if you're guarding Higgins. Nobody. Yeah.
The only thing is, you said since he's healthy, we got to see what happens with Joe Mixon this week. He got banged up a little bit.
They're fine without him. I think P. Ryan's fine. Mixon's amazing, but I think they could still.
They throw the ball, man. Joe Burrow's a gunslinger. They throw the ball. They don't rely on the run. 2 years ago, it was like Joe Mixon City. That's not the case anymore. If the Bengals are for real, they're winning this game. They're taking a step ahead going into the playoffs. Can you imagine if Cincinnati has home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs this year? What a transformation they've done in 2 years if that's the case. I mean, unbelievable.
Dude, I think the team that's going to win the division we didn't even talk about yet. And it's the most far-fetched day in the whole world. So I kind of want to jump straight to that.
Sure, because you know what? I've one best bet slot left, and it might
I'm
be who we're going to talk about next. So, John, who are we going to?
I'm going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 7-6-1. Pittsburgh Steelers at Kansas City. And there's COVID in Kansas City. This line is probably going to move, but right now it's sitting firmly at 8. Went from 8.5 down to 8. You told me Kelsey and Tyreek Hill are both combined with half a point. That's banana town to me. But that's where we're sitting with the news. Dude, where you? I mean, 91% of the money is on Kansas City, and it's 50-50 on the number of bets. What are you liking this game, man? Where's your best bet here?
Absolutely love the Pittsburgh Steelers. I said it last week. I teased it last week, and I feel more confident about it ever. Part of it has to do with the fact that I said Big Ben's better than Russell Westbrook. Part of it has to do with the fact that I said the Kansas City Chiefs stink at the beginning of the year, and they've won like 8 games in a row, and they've looked amazing. But the other part of it is I think Mike Tomlin can get his guys ready to play a big game better than any coach in the league in the regular season. So I think that he's been riling them up and he's been getting them going, and this is when it all comes together. That Pittsburgh Steelers defense goes on the road. Everyone's been talking about the Kansas City defense the last few weeks. The real defense in the league shows up. The Pittsburgh Steelers, TJ Watt shows up, and he balls out. 8 is just a lot of points in this game. I think it's going to be low scoring, but Kansas City's kind of surprised me the last 2 weeks. I thought they were going to be low scoring because the defense looks so good, and they keep throwing it up. Kelsey and Hill aren't practicing. I don't know how much that really matters for guys that have been together for 4 or 5 years. I don't think it affects them too much if they're able to play, obviously. But I like Pittsburgh in this one. Pittsburgh's just one of those teams that I feel like keeps it close. They were getting killed by Minnesota, and they battled all the way back and almost took the lead a couple weeks ago. I feel like Pittsburgh just keeps it close. On the road, at home, it doesn't matter. 8 points, I think, is just too much. I'm taking Pittsburgh as my final and third best bet of the week.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers are my hold your nose pick of the week because Kansas City's amazing. They look so good. They're at home. They need the bye week. And I just don't understand why they're -8 still. Like, what is the rationale here that they're still -8? It makes like I don't get it. It's my hold your nose pick to take Pittsburgh +8, and I think we have a double best bet here. Like I on Pittsburgh because yeah, man, I have no idea in what world that Kansas City is going to win this by a 2-possession game. This is a 2-possession win over a desperate Pittsburgh Steelers team for what? How? Why? Make this make sense. They have a good defense. They run the ball. They don't do anything crazy. Deontay Johnson playing honestly like Antonio Brown out there.
Yeah.
They got Claypool doing the Santonio Holmes impression out there. I mean, their tight end, he's doing his best Heath Miller. Like they have the players that aren't amazing, but they just fulfill their role. Their defense looks good. Mike Tomlin +8 is ridiculous, man. I kind of like the money line in this game.
John, you're giving away. I don't know. Can you see my Hail Mary parlay? Or you're giving it away a little bit today. We'll see.
I think I might just tail your Hail Mary parlay at this point.
It is a Hail Mary and a half, but we'll see. We'll save that for the end.
We'll see. Let's go to a game where, I mean, we've been on your case on Nick Jets, etc. I've been on your case here. We're talking about the quarterback from Seattle by the name of Russell Wilson. Was having some issues with DK Metcalf, having some issues on the defense, having some issues with the offensive line, having some issues with the coach, the fans, the media, his wife, everyone, right? Like
he has issues with me,
Greg,
week in, week out.
Everybody. Russell Wilson's issues. He's been George Costanza his way out of Seattle for a good year plus at this point. And
I agree. He hasn't been good in a year plus. You're right. I couldn't agree with you more.
Ever since he made that declaration, didn't help. Everything's about pins in his finger. He's been working on his PR for, you could just tell at this point. But Seattle's at home, -6.5, less than a touchdown to the Chicago Bears. And honestly, man, who's the quarterback of Chicago?
Fields.
The Chicago Bears suck. I have no, when I watch Chicago Bears, I want to throw up. No, I hate their coach. Even when he talks to the refs, I get mad. I always think he's wrong. He makes the most ridiculous challenges. He can't figure out a quarterback. They can't call a play. They have no running game. Justin Fields, now they're telling me he's so good, but now he's not unleashed by the coaches. Give me a break out here. I think I'm taking Seattle, man. Seattle are they out of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Like out, they can't make the wild card?
I think they were like technically in the hunt yesterday. I saw a graphic, but I think their odds dropped like crazy when they lost.
Yeah, I don't know if the L. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if the L took them officially out.
Yeah, I don't think they're technically eliminated. Like if you look at ESPN or whatever, I don't think they had the little E next to their name.
Okay, so they're still in this game because listen, they don't have a first round pick, man. I'm gonna keep rolling with them until the end here because they don't have a first round pick, and so they're still playing for something. And
yeah,
with Lockett on COVID, I'll excuse that a little bit. He was having issues with Metcalf. Yeah, the Carolina and Seattle both still in the hunt here, man.
Yeah, Carolina has a tiebreaker over them, so it's close. Yeah. And Green Bay is the Giants are one game back and also have a tiebreaker.
Disgusting, yeah. So I think Carolina and Seattle survive this week. I think they're both gonna win.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, Carolina's gonna beat Tampa Bay. But anyway, Seattle 6.5 is a lot of points, but I'll take the touchdown. I'll take Seattle here. Where's the public? It's got to be 9 on Seattle.
It's got to be. I'm assuming it's a ton on Seattle because the public still hasn't come around to my correct take that Russell Wilson stinks.
Wow.
65% of the bets are on Seattle. 91% of the money is on Seattle, and they're all dummies. I am taking Chicago plus 6.5 because Seattle can't score. They don't have an offense. They don't have a running back. They don't have an offensive line. They have DK Metcalf, and for some reason, Russell Wilson doesn't like to throw to a top 5 wide receiver. I don't know why that is. I can't explain it, but he chooses not to throw to him. I don't know why.
I have a question now that I'm sorry to move off the game for a second, but you just mentioned me with the running games. I have a question. Has Le'Veon Bell won a game in the last 3 years that when he was rostered on the team? Because he just got picked up to Tampa Bay. I know it's just kind of remind me of that. You just know when a team picks up Le'Veon Bell, the team is reeling. It just reminded me because the Seattle they were talking about AP, all right? That was a thing. They are desperate at running back, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm taking Seattle here because I just cannot bet Chicago ever.
I bet Chicago every week. I don't really know why I do it. I'm sick in the head, but taking Chicago plus 6.5. Matt Nagy, I think honestly, you know what it is? I feel a certain kinship to the Chicago Bears fans. I feel like I say this multiple times a week that they're a loser franchise, we're a loser franchise, and they are where we were with Adam Gase. So I just feel bad for them because they know their coach is gone. They know their GM is gone. They know they're going to full rebuild mode. The only thing that scares me is watching that Chicago Bears last week. They could move the ball down the field, but then when they got to the red zone or the 30-yard line or getting in, when they got into field goal range, they just completely combusted. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the players getting nervous or the play calling or what, but all of a sudden they get inside the 35-yard line and they're fumbling, they're putting the ball on the ground and they're recovering, but still they're taking 10-yard losses. They're doing all kinds of weird stuff. Justin Fields sometimes, I don't know what it is with him, but I feel like he's another one that forgets that he could run the football. I don't know if you remember, specifically there was a play where he tried to pump fake a lineman. The lineman jumped up, And then instead of moving out of the way, he just let the lineman fall on him and he fumbled the ball. It's like, dude, you can run.
I did see that.
You can run. You can run, Justin. Like you don't have to get tackled by this guy that's in the air. He can't move. Just get out of his way. But like I said, I think it, honestly, part of it for him is just being a rookie and the processing. I think it's a lot to process when you get into the NFL, and I don't think he's getting any favors from his coaching staff. So I like them plus 6.5 just because I think they're one of those teams that can keep it close, and I really do believe that Seattle stinks, and I kind of need them to win because we have their pick. So I need Chicago to win because we have Seattle's pick. So I need Seattle to keep
I would
losing.
love that. I would love it. I just don't see it happening. I would love it, but I don't see it happening.
Seattle can't score. Take the under. That's my real pick for this game. Take the under.
I like that. Last 4 o'clock game, my last best bet. I saved it for the last game of the 4 p.m. And this seems so easy to me, man. This seems so easy to me. It's your boy Derek Carr at home. Basically a money line game. Denver is starting Drew Lock after Teddy Bridgewater got hurt last game with the neck. They took off his face mask and left his helmet on.
Yeah,
not good
scary
stuff. Vegas at home. Low-key home field advantage. Everyone talking about how other teams are going to look forward to going to Vegas, et cetera, et cetera. They've been okay. I think Vegas wins this game, dude, outright. It is basically a money line game. I love Vegas here. The D-line, Max Crosby. I can't see Denver coming close in this game with Locke on the road against that Vegas D-line. I can't even fathom that happening.
John, I thought the same exact thing, but while you were just talking, I looked at the betting. 60% of the bets are on the Raiders. 90% of the money is on Denver.
I don't care. Oh, on Denver.
On Denver, John. What am I missing? What is going on? Why is 90% of the money on the Denver Broncos, who have lost their quarterback? I think one of the running backs is banged up. I can't remember, though. But they lost a couple wide receivers.
Yo, Javonte Williams out. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I love Javonte Williams.
Yeah. Like, what am I missing here? Why is 90% of the money on Denver when Las Vegas, as far as I can remember, is completely healthy? You keep ragging on me for saying Derek Carr is good. He's second in the league in passing. Second. He's ahead of Brady. He's ahead of Rodgers. What are we talking about? So, you can rag on me all you want about me thinking he's good, because he is good.
Yeah, that's fair.
I keep saying this name that apparently no one on Twitter, the NFL world, talks about, Hunter Renfrow. He's unbelievable. Week in and week out. He's, like, again, just this great player that no one's talking about. What's up?
Is Waller playing?
Waller, I'm not sure about. And it's killing me because I got him in a fantasy league, and I need him back because he's been out for 2 or 3 weeks. But Renfro's been picking it up, man. They're still throwing the ball. They're not slowing down. So, they definitely have a couple injuries. They lost a running back a couple weeks ago. They lost Waller. I don't think he's practicing yet, but again, it's early in the week, so we don't know. But I'm taking Las Vegas in this. Like you said, it's minus a half a point. It's pretty much a pick 'em. I like Vegas at home in this one, just because I think they're a better team. It's a division game. They're home. I think Vegas is going to throw the ball. And I don't know if Denver can with their backup quarterback.
Boy, Drew Lock. Young Jeezy.
Love him.
Going to Sunday night. NFC least. Washington plus 10.5 at Dallas. Dallas, another moneymaker, dude. Moneymaker this year. They've been so good on defense.
Insane.
Washington, though, their third-string quarterback looked okay.
Yeah, he did.
Like, I don't. For a third-string quarterback, they look fine. Getting 10.5 is nuts. I get it. They have their third-string running back. I get it. Dallas, one of the best teams in the league. Dallas is going to win the game, but not by more than 10 points, bro. Maybe even 10. But 11? That's a lot, man. That's like 2 touchdowns straight up. That's a lot. I like Washington division game. 10. Just give me the points here.
For me, this is like if then that. I'm taking Washington if Heineke plays. If Heineke doesn't play, I'm going with Dallas.
I don't care who's in.
Put it on the record right now. I think it's too big. I think it's too big of a game. I think it's too big of an environment for a third string guy who's had 1 week of practice. I think Dallas. I think their offense is reeling a little bit. Like I think Prescott, they're talking about him having a hamstring. I think they're fighting just to win this game, lock up the division, lock up a spot in the playoffs, so they can start resting guys and getting healthy for the playoffs. Zeke's been banged up throughout the season. Tony Pollard missed a week. So I think they're looking to just close out this division, get this game done. At home, I agree with you. They're definitely going to win. Are they going to win by 11 points? I think with Heineke, he makes enough plays that won't happen. But if it's the third string guy, I think that Dallas defense is going to smell blood in the water. Trayvon Diggs is going to go for the another 2 interceptions. And, Parsons is going to have a field day. So, like I said, if it's third string quarterback there, I like Dallas. But if Heineke goes, Heineke can go. So I think he keeps it close.
All right. I don't care who's the quarterback. I like Washington.
Yep.
10.5 is nuts. Monday night probably will be one of the Monday night games, right, with COVID.
Yeah.
This seems easy to me, dude.
That's what scares me because I thought it was easy too, and you're a little bit of a Saints whisperer, so I'm interested in what your thoughts are on Saints at home -3.5, hosting the Miami Dolphins, who don't look now are 7-7.
I can't believe that they have a hook here. I can't believe they have a hook. This game should be either 2.5 where nobody knows or 5.5.
Yeah.
Like the 3 in the hook.
The two
is
numbers
disgusting.
that I hate the most, by the way, 2.5 and 5.5.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's where it should be.
Yeah.
Like we don't know, figure it out. You know what I mean? Like Pittsburgh's usually in there, Miami's usually in those numbers. Saints also float around there. I love Miami +3.5, dude. I love Miami +3.5. Their running backs are going to be back healthy. They're coming off COVID.
If their running backs are back healthy, how do they not run Duke Johnson out there? He had a career week last week against us.
Their fourth-string running back is now Duke Johnson. Gaskin is looking good every week by week. Gesicki is looking good week by week. Devontae Parker's fine. Waddle will be back. Their defense is great. And honestly, they're not going to let New Orleans run on them. They're just not.
Yeah.
Like Taysom Hill, like Kamara could do so much when Taysom Hill literally can't. You're talking about Cam Newton can't throw the ball.
Taysom Hill can actually throw the ball. It's just not accurate or to his guys.
Stop.
Cam
Newton, what is he doing?
Cam Newton, I feel like I wince when I watch him throw the ball. Like it just looks like he's in pain.
Oh my goodness. I think this is a really easy game. I believe that the Saints coming off that Tampa game, people are a little
let down.
Little high on the Saints right now. Wow, they stopped Tom Brady. It's because Tom Brady stinks and the Buccaneers stink, and now they're giving 10.5. Makes no sense. But anyway.
Yep.
I love Miami here, even though I hate Tua with everything. I think he stinks. But Tua stinks. Even though last week he had 2 nice throws, nice little rainbows in because the Jets were forcing that. But he had 2 of them. They forced him to do it, and he was like 2 for 100. He stinks.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you. I'm taking Miami.
They're gonna run. I like the under in this game. Talking about unders, both teams are gonna run. This clock is gonna go by so fast. This is gonna be a fast game. If you could bet on the timing of this game, take the under, and the points, take the under.
I like that. I'm with you. Miami +3.5 to close out the slate.
All right, Greg. You've been teasing your teasers and your parlays all day. What do you want to start off with?
Let's go with the teasers. I got a couple here that I like, and really it's just about trying to get them over some football numbers. So I'm going with what stinks is that I switched my pick to Arizona. So I'm going to go with Arizona. It's going to not be a football number, but instead it's going to be Arizona +5.5 instead of -0.5 point. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to take Arizona +5.5. I'm going to take the Houston Texans, moving it up to 16. Jacksonville Jaguars up to 7. The Dolphins up to 9. And the Bears up to 12.5. It's a 5-leg teaser that gets me to +333. And I really need to hit one of these. I've hit 2 teasers so far this year. I need one more to kind of get me back to a good spot where I'm happy with the number. And then, yeah, we'll see about this Hail Mary parlay coming up. But let's hear your teaser first before we get into the Hail Mary parlays.
So as you know, I'm out next week. I'm
Yep.
be in Africa for the next couple of weeks. So I want to like go on a win, man. I want to end this. I need a win on the teaser. I'm going with a nice and easy 3-team buying 8-point teaser.
Okay.
I'm trying to win this week. All right, we got Vegas +7 at home. We got the Colts +9.5, and we got the Browns +15.5.
Ooh,
The only
I
one I'm
like that.
a little worried about is the Colts. A little worried, but nine. Come on, keep it single digits. That's +100, even money. Like, come on. Like, let me just get a win here. So we're gonna go nice and easy on the teaser. I just want a W here, but that leaves me some room to play on the Hail Mary. But I'm still going conservative on the term Hail Mary. It's supposed to be a crazy parlay. I'm taking a 5-teamer, 3 money lines, and 2 spreads, both underdogs. Like, we're easy here. We're just trying
Trying to get some wins before the end of the season. I like that.
We got the Panthers +10.5 and the Browns +7.5. Right, both football numbers with the hook.
Yep.
Like, what else can I ask for? Plus, we got 3 money lines, all favorites. We got the Bengals money line versus the Ravens at home. They're playing for the division. We got the Patriots at home playing for the division. And we got the Falcons at home playing the Detroit Lions, who apparently can't stop winning. But I think this is where the buck meets the road.
Yep.
So that's +1351 here. So you take both of those, put 100 on both of those, walk away with almost a cool 1,500. It's nice. It's nice. A nice little parting gift going into Christmas. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it pays for a couple gifts. I like that. So for my Hail Mary, I went back to the roots on this, and I'm shooting for the moon. Because if we hit this, I mean, we're already up this year. We're gonna end up the season. If I miss the next 2 or 3, I'm still gonna be up, $800, $900 because of the one I hit earlier in the season. But we're trying to take. We know we're gonna have some money left over, so now we're really trying to push it. And I'm with you in this. I'm going back to the true roots of a Hail Mary. I am taking big underdogs, and I am taking money lines. And I am going Cleveland Browns, money line against the Green Bay Packers on Saturday. I'm going Chicago Bears, money line against the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
And I'm going Pittsburgh Steelers, money line against the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's it, just those 3?
That's it. It's just 3 teams, but they are big-time odds. They are big-time underdogs. And it's late in the season. Weird things can happen. I don't know how it's going to go, but it's $100 to win $5,070. I'm actually going to be betting this bet because I did not realize it was going to be $5,000. So at this point, I have to put it in because I really do believe in these teams, in these matchups. I do think the Cleveland Browns have a shot against Green Bay if they can play good defense and run the football, control the clock, keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. I do believe the Chicago Bears have a chance against Seattle because Seattle's playing that poorly. And if they can just figure out the red zone, if they could figure out the red zone last week, they could have scored 30 points. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Kansas City Chiefs, that's going to be a crazy one. But again, it gives me the option because it's Sunday, 4 o'clock. If I really wanted to, I can hedge that out, but I don't think I'm going to. Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, give Kansas City Chiefs a little bit of trouble. They're playing for a playoff spot. They're playing for the division if they win this game. Plus 295 in that underdog. So again, $100 to win $5,070. That is going to be my Hail Mary parlay of the week.
I like that. And I like adding Pittsburgh to everything. Like that money line's crazy. They're huge underdogs, and I really do think they're gonna win.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take those individually too, because again, if you hit on one of those, you kind of pay for the other two. So, one's plus 285, one's 240, and one's 295.
All right,
let's
and
run.
Greg, go ahead.
I was gonna say let's run through the slate again real quick before we wrap up. Best bets for me: Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh. Best bets for you, John: Vegas, Minnesota, Pittsburgh. Got the double best bet in there. Hold your nose for me is Cleveland. Hold your nose for you is Pittsburgh. Those are 2 big underdogs.
You had Tampa as your hold your nose.
No, Tampa Bay is my what am I missing. And Atlanta for you is your what am I missing pick of the week. Because again, those lines just make no sense. Hold your nose though. I love our hold our noses. I have them both in my parlay.
Dude, I can't remember the last time I lost a hold your nose pick. I'm not
Yeah.
even joking. We talk about best bets and I call it the hold your nose pick is the best bet. You just have to listen to the show to know.
And that's what I love doing this because it just helps me know like these are the pets. These is what I'm putting a little extra money on this week because you're right. You've been great on their hold your nose picks. You've been great overall this season. I know you're off next week, so I kind of wanted to recap a little bit. Right now on the show, I've had a rough 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm 96-21, sitting at 43%. You're 113-100, sitting at 51%.
Oh, finally.
Yep, up above 50%. That's great.
Finally.
We both, again, last few weeks, best bets have been bad, but still sitting at 19-23 for me on the season, 18-24 for you. And we just need to hit one of these Hail Marys down the road, and we'll be up money no matter what. So let's run through the slate one last time. John, anything else you wanted to say before we get out of here?
Nah, man, I'm just I'm still anxious about this Jacksonville versus Jets game. I'm very curious as what's gonna happen. This whole Jets COVID thing is really crazy, it's crazy that it really only matters about like 3 players. I know the list of 19 sounds nuts. Come on, man. Just LaFleur. Just LaFleur. Yeah, I like him too, but like it's not that serious. All right, let's start there. We got the Jacksonville versus Jets. What do you got?
Primetime match of the week. In my book, this is America's game of the week. I know NBC will say something else. This is
the winning picks weekly game of the week.
Yeah, this is my America's game, honorary America's game of the week. I'm taking Jacksonville +1 on the road in New York.
Yeah, and I'm with you here, and we're together on a lot of games, man. A lot of games.
12, John, of how many? 12 out of 16 games. We're on the same page. This is going to be a week to remember, or a week to forget. I said it before. I might have to make that the name of the video on YouTube. If you're not following us on YouTube, we're on the Knicks, Jets, etc. YouTube channel. We are a playlist on there, Winning Picks Weekly. Again, winning the letter P Weekly on Twitter, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. Give us a follow, give us a listen. Let us know what you're taking this week because we want to know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And definitely check out Knicks, Jets, etc. Good stuff about the Jets.
Yes.
And the Knicks over there. Heading into the slate, San Francisco at Tennessee on Thursday. What do you got?
I got San Francisco -3.5.
This is one of the games we differ on. I got Tennessee with the hook at home. I'm addicted to the hook this week. I'm addicted to the hook.
Yep.
We got the Cleveland 7.5 at Green Bay. What do you got?
Cleveland +7.5.
Got the hook. I'm addicted to it. Give it to me all day. Give me Cleveland against the public. We're fading the public hardcore on Saturday here.
Oh yeah.
Including the second game, Indy at Arizona. I want to take Indy, bro. I want to take Indy so bad. They got the MVP, man. Everyone's telling me they got the MVP running back. I want them. What do you got?
Arizona. I got both running backs in this game, so I need both to go off. But I'm taking Arizona minus a half a point at home.
I got Arizona minus a half. We need Pittman in our shared fantasy league.
Big time.
We got Detroit Sunday +5.5 at Greg's Atlanta Falcons. What do you got?
My Atlanta Falcons are getting it done this week. -5.5 at home. Detroit Lions letdown spot. My Atlanta Falcons are going to win. I'm going to get an Atlanta Falcons pick right this year, and this is it.
The clock is right twice in a year.
Yeah.
I think this might be the second time you get Atlanta right.
Oh.
I'm with you. We got the next game. A bunch of good games, man. Bunch of good games. One of them right here. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati -3 at home for the division. 3 points at the division. Versus the guy who doesn't always covers. What do you got?
Cincy -3.
Me too, man. Rams -3 at the desperate Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota desperate for a playoff spot. Rams fighting for the division and a bye week. What do you got here?
Minnesota +3 at home.
Fading the public hardcore. I'm with you. We got the Buffalo Bills rematch from 2 weeks ago where Mac Jones throws 3 times at New England. Gets smacked off a bye. -2.5. What do you like?
This is I'm taking this bet with my heart, not my head. Pick of the week. New England -2.5. I really need them to win this game.
Your heart's on New England. You make me sick to my stomach.
My money's on New England.
you got Giants at Philly. Oh, by the way, I'm with you on the New England. And Cole Beasley, by the way, we didn't mention. Mr. Unvaccinated, as he likes to put it. He has COVID.
Yeah.
So he's their only offensive weapon. So that's tough. We got the Giants at Philly. Philly minus 9.5. My Philadelphia Eagles. I can't get them right. I'm gonna mess this up for everyone. But I got the Eagles because I hate Jacob Fromm. I hate Mr. Jacob. He stinks at football.
You're riding with me on Atlanta. I'm riding with you with Philadelphia. Philadelphia minus 9.5 at home.
And the best bet for you.
And a best bet. I forgot my first best bet of the day.
We got Tampa 10.5 at Carolina. This is your what am I missing pick of the week.
What am I missing? My second best bet of the day, Tampa Bay minus 10.5 on the road.
Yeah, we missed one of my best bets, which was Minnesota.
Yep.
Up there, but we kind of mentioned it. They're gonna kick the Rams' butts out here. Forget Cooper Kupp and his ridiculous answers. We got
I called out from a mile ago.
Yeah, the LA Chargers at Houston. Houston plus 8.5. Jeez, I hate Houston. Give me the Chargers here. What do you got?
I don't feel good about it, but I'm taking Houston 8.5 at home. Give it to me.
Sam's covering machine, low key. We got the Chicago Bears at Seattle. Seattle minus 6.5. Mr. Unlimited. Hopefully he gets his boy Tyler Lockett back so he can have those 60-yard throws so he can get to field goal range and win by 1. So they're probably not going to cover, but I like Seattle. What do you got here?
I like Chicago plus 6.5 on the road.
Seattle and Carolina. That's a low-key Hail Mary parlay because they're desperate, man. Them two, and then take the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sure that line's going to be crazy because the next game here is Pittsburgh Steelers at Kansas City plus 8 Pittsburgh, and we're all over Pittsburgh. We got them in the double best bet. We got them. I got them in the hold your nose. We're all over Pittsburgh here, man.
Yeah, Pittsburgh plus 8 double best bet.
And I have them in one of my division parlays from the preseason. I mean, I'm all over this Pittsburgh Steelers game right here. The Kelsey and Hill with COVID. As long as CEH eats a little bit. But I digress. We got Denver plus 0.5 at Las Vegas. We got a backup quarterback for Denver. But a team that has no quarterback. We got a backup quarterback at Las Vegas fighting for a wild card spot. Mad Max. You're telling me Derek Carr's the best quarterback ever. I'm taking best bet Vegas. You tell me every week Derek Carr's the best quarterback in the NFL this year. Best quarterback in the NFL. I got to take him. He's versus a team with no quarterback.
Top 15 quarterback.
He's in the second best quarterback.
Second best.
Okay, number 2. Okay, well, what do quarterbacks do?
You're making my point for me. I don't know what you want
me to
say.
That's what I'm saying. I got to take Vegas. I got to take Vegas in this game.
Vegas minus 0.5 point. Carson or Derek Carr to the moon.
Denver doesn't have one. Doesn't have a guy that passes. We got.
He throws the ball. He doesn't throw it to anyone.
Speaking of guys who can't pass, we got Washington at Dallas. We got 10.5 for Washington. Who knows who the quarterback's going to be? Everyone loves Dallas so much, which means I love Washington. Who do you got?
This is my if then that pick of the week. If Dallas or if Washington has
if
Heineke.
P then Q.
Yeah, if Heineke plays, then I'm taking Washington. If not, I'm going Dallas.
A little logic, a little philosophy logic.
Yeah.
Shout out to SUNY Albany Philosophy Department. In the last game, which I think is super easy. I kind of make this like another best bet, man. This is easy. 3.5 Miami at New Orleans. New Orleans stinks, bro. Yes, New Orleans stinks. Give me Miami.
Yeah, I like Miami plus 3.5 as well.
All right, that wraps it up, man. That wraps it up for my week 16. Maybe I'll be able to text you my slate for the week 17. That'd be awesome if I can get you the spreads on that.
Yeah.
Just read them off or something. But yeah, man, I'll have a good 2 weeks. We'll be in touch. Got fantasy semifinals and finals by the time I come back. Our future parlays will be in the books. By the time we'll be looking at the last week. Crazy things, right? And all the division games in week 18. It's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna have a fun closing week out here before the playoffs.
Yeah,
but we'll change up the format a little bit.
Yeah, week 18 will be good. We'll do a little recap on week 18 of all our future bets coming in and what we're watching, how those ended up shaking out. And then, yeah, we'll get it going for the playoffs, man. Playoffs are the best time to bet, too, because you're left with good teams. You're left with good matchups. So I'm excited for it. Have a good 2 weeks. Enjoy it. We'll still have an episode next week. It might be myself. It might be myself and a guest. You're going to have to tune in to find out. In order to tune in, you can follow us on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Alexa, Stitcher. We are everywhere. We're
You name it, we are there.
Exactly. And we're on Twitter, Winning the Letter P Weekly, and on YouTube. If you follow the Knicks, Jets, etc. YouTube, you can find us there. We're a playlist there. You can check out all the good content John does with Alex on there. Covers the Jets twice a week, covers the Knicks once a week for now, and that will start ramping up.
Awesome guest last Jets episode.
Dude, incredible guest. And also incredible guests on the Jets stuff, incredible guests on the Knicks stuff. So
yeah,
I love listening to it. They're great episodes. And like I said, it's ramping up, man. We just keep it moving. So check us out on there. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Comment. Let us know what you guys are taking this week because it's coming down to it. It's do or die.
Let's go. Let's go Jets, baby.
Let's go Jets.
Forget Jacksonville.